President John Mahama inaugurates Commander Sugar Factory.
7 more bodies retrieved from the Volta Lake.
And Chad's ex-ruler Hisseni Habre convicted of crimes against humanity and sentenced to life in prison. Hello, good evening. You're live on GBC24 and GTV. It's time for news. My name is Yoko Kwakuchre.
And I am Micheline Taka. You're welcome.
Now the news in detail. 7 more bodies, including that of a pregnant woman, have been retrieved from the Volta Lake following Sunday's boat disaster. 46 people were on board the boat when it capsized. Many of the passengers on the boat have been rescued, but reports reaching GBC24 indicate rescue operations are still underway, especially in the waters around Yeji. The secretary to the Yeji Boat Owners Association, Mr. John Belly, said the accident occurred when the boat, which was traveling from Pareya to Yeji, capsized after hitting a tree stump. Sunday's accident raises once more the issue of tree stumps and the need for their removal to ensure safe travel on the Volta Lake.
It is exactly a quarter of a century, that is 25 years, since the Somali war began, and in all of these years, the residents of the capital, Mogadishu, as in many parts of the country, would watch the sunset with increasing fears that the militant group Al-Shabaab will launch deadly attacks. There is an in the strive-torn horn of African nation at the moment, an AU force or mission patrolling the city to ensure that Somalis go about their business, especially at night in peace. GBC24's award-winning journalist Abdul Hai Mumen has returned from Mogadishu after a 4-day trip, during which he joined the AMISOM forces on one of their night patrols, and he has this revealing story about war and its devastating effect on society.
Night has fallen in Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia, and fear suddenly grips residents. A few months ago, the extremist group Al-Shabaab lost stranglehold on Somalia's nerve center to the Somali National Security Forces, bolstered by troops from the African Union Mission to Somalia, AMISOM.
We are just about leaving on the night patrol with the AU forces here in Somalia.
I don't know. Before we leave, I have to give you some security advice. Our escort, our patrolmen that will be with you will give you escort. That will give you covering fire while you do your work, do your interview. You are advised to heed to any advice given to you by any of our policemen, because we know the terrain.
These men from the Special AMISOM Police Unit are here to augment the efforts of Somalia's police force as they work to return law and order to the country's biggest city after more than 2 decades of civil war in which thousands have died, millions displaced, and countless number injured.
Make some noise, make some noise.
Residents say any inconvenience experienced during the frequent SPF security checks are inconsequential given the dramatic improvement in recent months.
The security we feel now better at the night, so I see no problem.
Despite Al-Shabaab's retreat from Mogadishu 4 years ago, the Al-Qaeda affiliated group still carries out sporadic attacks in the capital. With training and backup provided by 140 Ugandan and Nigerian AMISOM police officers, the SPF say they can patrol Mogadishu's battle-scared streets with increasing confidence.
Yeah, it is like a weekly base. Every week we foil attacks that were supposed to damage the civilians, because election is coming, because Ramadan is coming. They are more dangerous than before because they don't respect the religion, they don't respect the culture, so that we protect with the help of our brothers of AMISOM.
On this night, the joint patrol happens upon a moonlight game of football being played on an empty side street, a clear sign that things have changed in Mogadishu. However, no one can tell what will happen the next minute.
We will give them a buffer. We'll form a buffer for them. They will go to the black spots, search the place. If they see anybody, they will arrest. At each junction that is a hot place, they will stop, conduct some search. After that, we'll continue our patrol.
The SPF still has a lot of road to cover before it can operate independently. AMISOM is committed to helping them get there by providing training and operational support, but even more assistance is needed urgently in terms of weapons, equipment and vehicles. Perhaps the journey to lasting peace and stability in Somalia, a country that has been devastated by war for close to 3 decades, has just begun. Abdulhai Mumin, GBC24, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Well, we now have in the studio Abdulhai Mumin to tell us more about the situation in Mogadishu and his experience in that war-torn country. Good evening, Abdul.
Good evening.
Well, Abdul, you've been to Mogadishu, right? Can you tell us, does the place reflect the news or information that we receive from the Western media?
I'll say both yes and no. Yes, to the extent that when you go to Somalia today, people live in their own country as if they were prisoners. And no, to the extent that most of the pictures you see show pictures of people who are lean, who are famished and unfed, and they have bones coming out of their ribs and all that. Those pictures really do not represent what is on the ground, but really on the ground you will find that there's a lot of insecurity around. People are living and they know that the next minute they could be dead. I spoke to the president of the Somalian Journalists Association, a story we'll be showing later on, and he says, look, at any point in time you can die in Somalia. And even when you are with the AU forces or UN representatives, the people that most of the time I was with and I went out with them, they made me sign an indemnity form so that should I step out and anything happened, they would not be held liable for the loss of my life if it were so to happen. And so to that extent, there's a lot of insecurity in Somalia.
So once there is insecurity in that country, then that means there's no calm.
There's no calm. There's when you talk about calm, it's also it
relative.
Depends on, yes, relative. Which angle you're looking at it from? If you look at Somalia of 1991, Somalia of 94, and Somalia of 2006, then you would say that there is calm. But if you want to compare Somalia to a place like Ghana,
exactly,
to a place like the West African sub-region, then you would say that there's a lot of turmoil in Somalia because every step you take, somebody's watching you. Every move you make, to the extent that I stood on top of one of the hotels that was attacked by Al-Shabaab not too long ago. It's called the Jazeera Hotel in Somalia. I was on top of that hotel and trying to take a picture because it's not very far from the airport. An aeroplane was taking off and the military guard who was with me immediately shoved me off and said, look, you could be the target of a sniper. Mm-hmm. And so it's that dangerous to be out there. Yes, but again, those who have been in Somalia all this while will tell you, look, things are getting better. And on the AU day, the Somalian president himself said things are so much better that he's now appealing to Somalis who have left the country on exile in other countries to start returning.
And in the video, we had a lot of firing of shots. So how did it feel being so close to that range, how did you feel?
If you remember again last year, even in Ghana, when we had the fire disaster in the floods, we're out there doing our work. It's what we have.
This is flood. This is disaster. This is Ghana, but this is Somalia, a country
my
you're saying it's not
my job as a journalist is to bring the news. You asked me the very first question. Do what we see in the Western media reflect what I saw?
Exactly.
So who will tell our story for us?
Yeah.
I chose to tell the story. And
so I'm asking, how did it feel?
At a point, I was very afraid. In fact, the whole of that night, I didn't sleep a wink because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Ghana, that moment.
In some of the other videos we will show later, I spoke to a colonel from Ghana, Colonel Yakubu, and Colonel Opon, who are both serving in Somalia. They are military men themselves, but they confess that, look, when one of those missiles was thrown and it came very close to where they lived, they were very scared, and one of them says, look, I look forward to the day they will say my service has ended.
Right back to Ghana.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
so
that dangerous.
Abdul, from what we've seen, do you think that the country can reconstruct in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, I think that would be too ambitious. To the extent that because we don't have much time, this is how Al-Shabaab is operating there. They go into the areas, make sure that the people have at least water, provision of water. As soon as the AMISOM forces are able to defeat Al-Shabaab, what they do is to destroy the Al-Shabaab forces. They destroy all the water bodies to the extent that the people have difficulty in accessing water. And then they go back to the people and say, you are safer under us, because under us, you have access to water, you have access to electricity. Under the government, you do not have access to these things. And so the people sometimes, not because they want to be associated,
so they are torn between the devil and the deep Red Sea.
Exactly so. And so and you don't find many NGOs going into Somalia because, again, of the security situation there. If you're found to be a stranger in Somalia, you're at risk. It's a fact. You cannot just walk into Mogadishu township as a Ghanaian and feel free. It doesn't happen. All the foreigners who are working in Somalia today are working within the confines of areas controlled strictly by the AU forces and by the UN.
So, given this video clip, this disturbing video clip that we've watched, you'll be bringing more, and those pictures I know will be more frightening than this one. It's getting to elections in Ghana. Is war something that one must wish for him or herself?
On the day I landed in Ghana from this trip, there was this debate about the IGP and saying that he might want to shut down social media, and I said I agreed with him to some extent, because what I saw out there in Somalia for more than 25 years today, people have not had the right to freely express themselves. Anyone expressing himself has to look back behind their shoulders to see who is watching. And I can tell you that in 2014, 36 journalists were killed in Somalia for expressing themselves. 2015, 16 journalists were killed. And these are journalists who are being killed. And I'm saying that I would prefer to be gagged for one day so that I can have freedom for the rest of my life than to have freedom for one day on an election day and to cause a problem that can lead me to
others to also suffer,
and to be gagged for 25 years or for however long.
I'm afraid, Abdul, that's all time we have for us. But I know that in the ensuing, we'll have other videos and other stories on this same trip, and we'll invite you back to the studio to tell us more. Thank you very much, Abdul, for joining us in the studio. And that was Abdul Hai Mumin, my colleague who's just returned from Mogadishu, Somalia. Now moving on, meanwhile, a military court in Somalia has sentenced 2 men to life in prison for masterminding a bomb attack on a Dalo Airlines plane in February. 8 other people, including a woman, were sentenced to between 6 months and 4 years in prison. The blast, which occurred 15 minutes after takeoff from the airport in Mogadishu, killed the bomber and left a hole in the plane's fuselage. The militant Islamist group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for that attack. The group admitted at the time that it had failed in its attempt to bring down the plane. The verdicts were the first in connection with the blast in which none of the plane's 74 passengers or crew was killed. And now to Ashanti, and the police have arrested a 49-year-old man for allegedly trading in military weapons without lawful authorization. Kwame Afrifa was arrested at the Asante Mampon and is to be transferred to the police CID headquarters as investigations continue into the case.
The Deputy Ashanti Regional Police Commander, ACP Ampofo Duku, said the suspect, Kwame Afrifa, a dealer in electrical materials near the Anglican Church at Asante Mampong, was arrested at about 9 p.m. This followed an intelligence report. The police says the suspect led them to his electrical shop where the exhibits were retrieved. ACP Ampofo Duku explained why the weapons found in the possession of Afrifa was an offense.
Like arms and ammunitions, you cannot display them, you cannot offer them for sale, you cannot deal in them without law. It is only those with arms and ammunition dealers who have licenses to deal in arms and ammunition that can possess these items and dispense them to the general public.
He said the suspects will be sent to the police headquarters in Accra for a forensic investigation to be carried out.
Investigation will concern itself with how the suspect came by these items and how many people already have had access to them. You agree with me that these are items, when gets into the hands of criminals, they can use it to their benefit.
December 2015, the police in Kumasi arrested 4 people who were in possession of 20 AK-47 machine guns and ammunition.
Agromite Limited, a leading agriculture equipment company, has launched equipment for seeding and planting at a ceremony in Tamale. The demonstration on the use of the machines was carried out with the involvement of participants who were mostly farmers and heads of civil society organizations.
Agromite Limited is an agricultural business firm engaged in commodity trading, food production and provision of mechanized services for smallholder farmers. The company also deals in agricultural machinery and farm equipment, sales and servicing. Agromite is interested in transforming smallholder farmers from subsistence level to sustained profit enterprise using the value chain management approach through the provision of appropriate technologies and the linking of smallholder farmers to well-structured markets. The innovative equipment launched include automatic nursery machines, seed drills, lesser land leveling equipment, ring plastering machines, straw baler as well as multi-crop shelter. The Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture in charge of crops, Dr. Yakubu Al-Hassan, said agricultural mechanization is a priority of government. He said the use of today are scientific technology sophisticated, and therefore such technologies being introduced by Agromite would encourage them to venture into agriculture. The director of Agromite Limited, Dr. Henry Enim Somoa, said apart from selling equipment, the company also provides comprehensive training, after-sales support and services, and extended warranty, as well as monitoring and management of tools.
What we have observed is that traditionally our seeding practices have come against us in terms of our yields. Our traditional methods, particularly the example I give is rice, where a large number of our farmers just broadcast the seeds, and sometimes they go through with a plow after they had broadcasted. So our solution to that is to get a seed bed prepared in a way that you can manage your seed planting and get the optimum yield that you require.
Agromite has also collaborated with international development-oriented bodies such as USAID Feed to introduce technologies in the maize, soybean and rice value chain in northern Ghana.
We'll go for a quick break. We are back with business news Tuesday.
Hello, good evening and welcome. It's the first working day of the week and we bring you some business updates. I am Dorothy Ajimai. The Minister for Trade and Industry, Akosua Gabra, says government is inviting Ghanaian industrialists and investors to invest in the new Commander Sugar Factory to keep the factory running. At the inauguration of the sugar factory, Mr. Spio Gabra said such a development will ensure that Ghanaians own shares in the company, which is expected to create thousands of jobs.
Many state-owned enterprises have failed because of poor management, lack of attention to maintenance and service, and to quality standards. We are not going to let that happen to this factory. One of the ways we are going to make sure that this factory is productive, is profitable, and is sustainable is that we are going to be inviting investors, Ghanaian investors preferably, or foreign investors, or joint Ghanaian foreign investors to buy shares in this factory, so that when they have a vested interest in the factory, they make sure that the factory runs profitably. So before I sit down, what I'm saying is that we are inviting all landowners who are anywhere between 100 kilometers of this factory site, or even as far as 6 hours drive, and that will hit Volta region, Eastern region, Western region, and maybe some parts of Ashanti region, to consider bringing any sugar cane that they have to this factory. We are waiting for it as we speak. And all of them are going to put money into their pockets. Thanks to our president, John Dramani Mahama. Money in your pocket. That is the slogan some of you want to hear. But looking forward, the investment that we are seeking from Ghanaian businessmen with their foreign partners, if they wish, we want industrialists to come together to own a portion of this factory. Ghanaian industrialists. If they don't do that, and we end up giving it to some non-Ghanaian investors, then we have to accept our own responsibility for not having faith in our own infrastructure, in our own projects. And above all, we are going to ensure that the staff that are going to be recruited by this factory, most of whom will be Ghanaians, we've already interviewed many of them, there'll be hundreds of Ghanaians being employed here in due course, working with our Indian counterparts and learning from them, shadowing them. So over a 3 month, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months period, many of the Indian experts who have been here, we can thank them for their services, and Ghanaians who would have learned from them can take over and run this factory efficiently.
The Commander Sugar Factory, which collapsed years ago, is back on its feet. President John Mahama inaugurated the factory this afternoon in fulfillment of a major political pledge. He says it is one more example of several initiatives by his administration to transform the economy. A plank of that vision is to create an import substitution base to revitalize the local economy and conserve foreign exchange. Napoleon Atukito reports.
Revival of the Commander Sugar Factory, which has been moribund for more than 3 decades, is in fulfillment of President John Mahama's promise to revamp the economy and create jobs. The folding up of that business was a setback to Ghana's march towards industrialization. India's Exim Bank bore more than 95% of the $35 million project. The tonnage capacity of the Commander Sugar Factory is about 1,225. It will provide 2,000 direct employment and create over 5,000 indirect jobs, straddling an elaborate chain of production. The government has secured additional $24.5 million from India to assist sugarcane outgrowers, covering items such as cultivation and transportation to factory sites. Every ton supplied will attract 60 Ghana cedis and a bonus of 10 Ghana cedis. The government has directed the company to give the local people employment priority. The overall sugarcane subsector is to form a cooperative to engage the factory. Ghana's annual sugar imports amount to $200 million. Sugar production at Commander will halt the flight of hard-earned foreign exchange.
We spend in excess of $200 million every year importing sugar from outside. Ghana spends large amounts of hard-earned foreign currency to import sugar. This initiative to ensure domestic production of sugar, among other import substitution initiatives such as the $20 million poultry broiler revitalization project, the 51 million Ghana cedi stimulus package to local pharmaceutical companies, will no doubt make a major dent on our perennial forex fluctuations. It means that we'll have to outlay less forex to import these things for which we have a comparative advantage to produce.
The president said the byproducts of sugarcane will be plowed back into the system. The sugarcane fiber is convertible into power, molasses for the beverage industry, while ethanol is also for fuel production.
The sugar industry has been and continues to be the backbone of many economies in the world, and its contribution to gross domestic product and employment generation in those economies is very significant. Without a doubt, it is one of the major agro-based industries which has contributed immensely to resource mobilization, employment and income generation, as well as creating social infrastructure in many rural economies. On this occasion, I wish that my comrade and mentor, Professor John Evans Atamils, was here with us, because the dream started with him. The revival of the Commander Sugar Plant was one of the major planks of our Better Ghana agenda. But I'm sure that even though he's not here with us physically, he's here with us in spirit, and he's smiling at the accomplishments that we have been able to achieve.
President John Mahama said many such companies which were run aground will be revived if he gets a second term. He said the railway sector will get the biggest boost in the next 4 years. Napoleon Atukitu, Commander.
The acting chief executive of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Board, Mr. Kwame Uwadakun, says the decision to appoint STL Ghana to manage the operations and facilities of BOST is meant to push the country forward. STL was appointed to manage the operations and facilities of BOST to reduce its losses and transform it into a profitable venture. Mr. Uwadako told the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament that since then BOST has started recording profit.
Financially, it's been very successful. We haven't had any product losses since TSL took over. In the first 9 months, we had a product gain position of 8.4 million cedis, or approximately $3 million at the time. This is a facility that had never in its history, since inception, ever made any product gains, but product losses. 2015, we also recorded additional product gains of approximately 6.5 million cedis when you value the product. In 2016, the trend is also continuing. So from a cost-benefit analysis, in the first year, the fees that were paid for by the product gains. So effectively, it was cost neutral to us as a company. So on the cost-benefit side, Mr. Chairman, it's been very successful, and I will send you the report as part of the Friday documentation.
The cost of aviation fuel is very high in Ghana compared to countries on the continent. The cost in Ghana is about 50% higher, a situation that has caused airlines to avoid refueling in Accra Kotka International Airport. The managing director of GOIL, a leading supplier of aviation fuel in Ghana, has told GBC24 that the number of taxes on the fuel is what is driving up the price. Mr. Patrick Akoli is appealing to the government to take another look at the taxes and, if possible, review it downwards. Ghana's aviation industry is one of the fastest growing and most competitive in West Africa. Some experts have put the average growth rate of the industry at 10%. From a career base of 15 in 2000, the number jumped up to 37 in 2014. Total passenger base also went up from 600,000 in 2000 to 2.3 million in 2014. Such growth requires an ambitious development to cope with the heavy demand on airport infrastructure. To meet the growing demand on the airport, the government commenced work on the new Terminal 3 at the Kotoka International Airport. The $250 million project is designed to convert facility into a premier modern aviation hub in West Africa with its potential positive impact on the economy. But the issue of high aviation fuel costs in the country is seen as one of the factors that pose a challenge to the expansion works. The specialized fuel sells for about $2.30 per litre in Nigeria, $2.30 in Benin, and $1.94 per litre in Cameroon. But in Ghana, it sells for close to $3.14 per litre. As a result of the high fuel cost, ticket prices are relatively high. According to the Ghana Airports Company, many airlines have given refueling in the country because of the high cost of aviation fuel. United Airlines abandoned the Accra-Baltimore route due largely to the cost of aviation fuel. The managing director of GOIL Ghana, Mr. Patrick Akoli, explains the reasons behind the high cost of aviation fuel.
Everybody's complaining that the taxes on aviation fuel are so prohibitive, so it's making the local airlines a bit uncompetitive compared to road transport. So if the taxes are removed, or are lowered or something, then you realize that the airport, the domestic airlines will begin to prosper.
The Kotoka International Airport is currently serviced by about 37 international airlines with 2 operational domestic carriers, both IOSA certified. You watch News Hour, and this is the business segment. On the interbank market, the pound sterling traded at 5 cedis 60 pesos. The dollar also traded at 3 cedis 84 pesos. On the commodities board, cocoa was appreciated by $77 to trade at $2,993 per ton. Light crude, on the other hand, lost 4 cents to trade at $49.29 per ton. Gold also dipped by $6.20 to trade at $1,207.60 an ounce. The board up next. In insurance news, the GCB Bank will soon add another insurance product to its funeral policy. Currently, the bank, in collaboration with Star Assurance, sells only one life insurance policy, but the acting managing director of GCB Bank, Mr. Samuel Sapong, says GCB is set to roll out another life insurance product.
Bank insurance model, also sometimes known as bank assurance, is the partnership or relationship between a bank and an insurance company or a single integrated organization whereby the insurance company uses the bank sales channel in order to sell insurance products. GCB Bank and Star Assurance entered into an agreement to introduce funeral policy to Ghanaians. The product seeks to provide insurance cover for policyholders whenever they are bereaved. Funeral policies can be done by individual for himself or herself, or in some situations, family members or loved ones. The acting managing director of GCB Bank, Mr. Samuel Sapon, said they will soon add new products onto the market.
The bank has partnered with Star Life to introduce its bank assurance program. Currently, it covers funeral death. So basically, it provides insurance cover for individuals, life insurance, and that's the only insurance package that we offer at the moment. We hope to expand the partnership by introducing other more products. Currently, we have the Star Life Assurance representatives throughout all our branches and basically selling the products.
According to GCB, the new products will include child policy, educational policies, among others.
That was Insurance News brought to you by SIC Live. We have more news coming up. Please stay.
And welcome to the health segment of the news brought to you by FPAC, blows your pain away. Now, most women will tell you the medicinal value of Kwehunsuswa. Kwehunsuswa in the English language is turkey berries. Some people call it kantorsi. The green berry on our markets is now a sought-after commodity for medicinal purposes. It has a bitter-sweet taste but well patronized. GBC24 puts the spotlight on this very important vegetable.
Amajuli, Anonantroba, Abedru, Ampenchni, Yasantua are some other names for this green peas vegetable plant. Scientifically, it is also known as Solanum tovum. Turkey berries are related to the eggplant. Although it has a sweet aftertaste when consumed, it is more medicinal than food. Turkey berries have essential nutrients and minerals like vitamin A, iron, calcium, fat, and fiber, which are very helpful in preventing and curing diseases. The boiled fruits are mostly pounded together with palm fruits before it is strained for the soup. It has many health benefits. In Ghana, it is used for the control of stomach diseases such as ulcers and also for diabetes. One can blend and refrigerate and use it as blood-boosting drink, mostly recommended by doctors for anemic patients.
Kwehunsuswa is very nutritious and is my #1 blood tonic.
It can also be used to treat skin diseases. Other health benefits include the treatment of cancer, colds, flu, gout, arthritis, asthma, and so much more. Apedra Junction is a town in the eastern region where turkey berry is mostly grown. Turkey berries are used in cooking local foods like palava sauce and all kinds of soup. The Ashantis, Achims, and the Kwehus mostly use it for abom. Abom goes well with ampesi, that is cooked plantain, cocoyam, or yam. So if you're looking for a delicious, hearty, and healthy meal, this mouth-watering delicacy is your best choice. This chop bar operator grows turkey berries on her farm here at Apedra Junction. She has been in this business for close to 10 years.
Me yusu bedru edi ye abenkwan. Me yusu bedru edi bo apesie. Bedru ma moja. Bedru ma wapo mu nye din kura. Udi bedroa ebeye de. Oko hospital kra na yese oni moja. Wo sati di bedro pe no anya moja bebre. Eti bedro de me use the ye me dwan pa.
Turkey berries with its high nutritional values are very cheap on the market. It goes from 50 pesos and above.
Obi obedi abedru bia no beto abedru bia on tu ni sika nguye because abedru ye niam bebre ukọ hospital mpo na se bia doctor so ni moja mesre wa ade abedru ani kontomre abedru ne sound friend kwansusa wudi chi ade ma eyeye pa na wanya wonwo nzomi na wanya uko bi pa na ade atoso ekoyiye pa.
Mr. Ebenezer Mante is a food technologist at the Institute of Packaging Ghana. He recommended its use irrespective of one's age or gender.
It contains a lot of iron that helps in boosting the production of blood in the system. It's used in so many areas. For example, it can be used to help people that are diabetic to slow down their sugar level. It can also be used in people with kidney problems, and of course, since it's got a lot of iron and it helps in the production of blood also, it can be used to control things like heart, cardiovascular ailments, and things like stroke and so on.
Turkey berries also help in digestion and neutralizes acid secreted in the stomach, making them important for healing gastric ulcers. It is antibacterial and helps stop excessive cell growth that results in cancer. Considering the high medicinal value of the plant, the next time you go to the market, make sure your list includes this very important medicinal plant.
And that was the health segment brought to you by FPAC.
And in international news, Chad's ex-ruler Hissène Habré has been convicted of crimes against humanity and sentenced to life in prison at a war crimes trial in Senegal. The judge also convicted him of rape, sexual slavery, and ordering killings. It is the first time an African Union-backed court has tried a former ruler for human rights abuses. The prosecutor at the court in Dakar requested a life sentence for Habré, who refused to recognize its legitimacy. The ex-president denied accusations that he ordered the killings of 40,000 people during his rule from 1982 to 1990. Mr. Habré frequently disrupted proceedings during his trial. He shouted abuse, called the process a farce, and had to be carried into the court after refusing to appear. His critics dubbed him Africa's Pinochet because of the atrocities allegedly committed during his rule. Coming up, we have sports.
To talk sports, I'm Theophilus Sampa. Cape Coast-based Lady Strikers recorded a vital away win in Accra, beating Samaria Ladies by 2-0. The encounter was one of the round of matches in the first session of the National Women's Football League.
Abekam-based Samaria Ladies welcomed Cape Coast-based Lady Strikers at the ATTC Park in Accra. The clash was one of the matchday 7 fixtures in the ongoing National Women's Football League. It also served as the last match to wrap up the first season. Samaria Ladies in the yellow jersey, having picked up just a win after 6 matches, 2 draws and 3 defeats, were eager to pick their second win at home to improve on their standings. Lady Strikers, on the other hand, were also aiming at picking all 3 points at stake after recording 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats. On the 26th minute, Faustina Treme scored for coach Kukudazi's side.
Go!
Lady Strikers held on to the lead despite the constant threat from the home side. The first half ended 1-0 for the away side. Back from the break, Samaria pushed for the equalizer, but some good goalkeeping and solid defending prevented them. 17 minutes into the second half, Samaria Ladies defender needlessly fouled an attacker in the penalty box. Catherine Arthur scored the ensuing penalty kick. Despite mounting a late comeback, time was against Samaria Ladies as they lost by 2-0. Here are some reactions.
This win is going to motivate us, especially the girls. Having started not well, but I think as the competition progresses, the girls are improving.
Individually, we realized that our players had some communication problem. They were not communicating with each other, and if they do, they communicate angrily.
When we are coming to get the game, we thought that we should win this match, but we don't know the reason why we lose the match.
The training we went through this week and this scoreline we weren't expecting, but sometimes you have to take it just like that because that's the way it happened.
It's very fantastic. We try our best. We want to win the game. We lose our so matches, but this match we take it easy to score the goal.
The win means Lady Strikers finished the first season on the 4th position with 11 points after 7 matches, with Samaria Ladies finishing 7th with 5 points.
Staying with women's football, and Fabulous Ladies recorded the heaviest scoreline so far this season, defeating Subaya Ladies by 10-0 at the Prempeh College Park. Here are the results for the Northern Zone. Prisons Ladies 2, Ampem Dakwa 1, Fabulous Ladies 10, Subaya Ladies 1. Nil. Real Upper Ladies 5, Northern Ladies 2, Lepo Ladies 2, Ashtown Ladies 2. And then in the Southern Zone, Halifax 0, Bafana Ladies 0, Hazakes 1, Police Ladies 1, Soccer Intellectuals 0, Immigration Ladies 0, and Samaria Ladies 0, Lady Strikers 2.
That's all in this package. We come your way again at 10:30.
Well, that will be with news tonight. Good evening. Many thanks for watching.
This is Ghana Television, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.